Hey everybody, it's me, Xeno, back with another video for you here today. We're talking about Nintendo in 2022. Last time we talked about Nintendo in 2021. Today we're talking about the future, 2022. Man, that sounds weird to say. Last year and this year have just been going so insanely slow yet fast at the same time that it's just insane to me that we're already in 2022 almost. Like halfway through this year already. It's insane. Time is insane. The movement of time and flow of it is just absolutely bonkers. But anyway, Nintendo, yeah, that's that's what we're here to talk about. Games in 2022, how 2022's lineup already looks better than 2021 in my opinion. Just on a basis of Nintendo and my own personal preferences. I mean, you got Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3, those two alone just basically already shatter what you need to make a good year in my opinion. But then you add on Mario plus Rabbids, Triangle Strategy, Pokemon Arceus, oh my gosh. And you gotta think about the fact that we're still 6 months from entering this year. That's insane. I cannot think of the last time that Nintendo had this much going for them, like half a year ahead of the next year. I honestly think that there is a very good chance that 2022 will become the next big year in games. The year that everybody looks back to and thinks, oh my gosh, there were so many good releases that year. How the heck did they decide Game of the Year? And let's put this into perspective, because beyond Nintendo, Elden Ring is coming in January. God of War is also slated for next year, the sequel to that, and Starfield, the new Bethesda IP, which it's been a long time since they tried something new, and I'm super excited to see that game. And here's just a list of all the other big stuff from other companies that's coming out, because there's a lot. So 2022 is already looking way up, like one of the best years ever in gaming up, and we're still 6 months out from it. Here's the thing though, it's also very similar to 2017 so far. I've talked about this many times, but Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3, Mario plus Rabbids, those were three of the, I'd say, 5 big games that really made 2017. All that you're missing there is the new 3D Mario like Odyssey and the new huge RPG like Xenoblade. And we'll get into that in a minute, because I think there is a decent chance we might match that pretty well. But first I want to talk about how we might get an even better grasp on the beginnings of next year, even sooner than you might think. Last year in September, the Mario 35th Anniversary Direct was aired. And in 2019, a regular Direct was aired in September. And in 2018, 2017, and 2016, I bet you can guess what happened in September. So we're probably going to see another Direct pop up early this fall to talk about the new games still to come out this year and give more details on them, but also give us a little bit more on some of the big games coming out next year. I'll have you remember that in 2019 we got the announcement of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition in this Direct, and in 2018 we got the announcement of both Luigi's Mansion 3 and Animal Crossing New Horizons in the September Direct. Nintendo is not against announcing new games in this time slot of a fall Direct. They seem to do it more often than they don't actually. And you know what the new game is that I really think will be in this Direct, and really makes me just think that this Direct is happening beyond this coincidence of it usually happening the past few years? It is Donkey Kong. A whole lot of rumors have been flying around about my big ape friend here. There's been rumors that he is going to become a new multimedia franchise icon for Nintendo, with a new TV series and a new theme park expansion in Super Nintendo World that we already, basically know is going to happen, and a new game that has been highly rumored from many reliable sources. A lot of those sources are even saying they were very perplexed that this did not appear in the Nintendo Direct at E3. I think it makes perfect sense then that they reveal this game in September, and that it might be an early next year title, kind of like Tropical Freeze was with that February slot. I mean, this game could potentially still hit holiday this year. Let me remind you that in 2020, Paper Mario The Origami King was announced like a month or two before it actually came out. Why they would not show it at E3 and wait to reveal it here, I'm not sure. Maybe the trailer wasn't done yet or something, but I don't know. I feel like this Donkey Kong rumor is true, and that it makes a lot of sense. It might be revealed sooner rather than later. So what else could be revealed at this early fall Direct? Well, most likely a lot of information on the upcoming holiday games that hasn't been detailed yet at E3 or other places. Probably want to do it here. That's why they do Directs usually, to detail a bunch of games coming out soon, make a few announcements for stuff down the line. But one big thing that I do think is another surefire thing if they do this Direct is the final Smash Bros. Character announcement. I feel like it would be kind of weird to reveal the final fighter outside of a Nintendo Direct. It just feels like something that's too big to just do it in its own Sakurai Presents presentation at the beginning of it. I mean, they did do that with Byleth, but then again, and they had already announced Fighter Pass 2, so they knew there was more coming. It really is up in the air. I mean, they could still do it in their own presentation. I just feel like you want to hype that up. That's your final one. You could talk about, oh, all the DLC is now out. You can purchase them all. Maybe they'll mention we're making an Ultimate Edition of the game that just bundles it all in. I think the final Smash character would be a brilliant thing to put in another Direct if that is something that we see happen in fall of this year. So DK and Smash news. I feel like if we have a fall Direct, those are the two biggest things to look out for. But there is one more thing that I could potentially see happening, and that's Breath of the Wild 2 news. It really all depends on when this game comes out, which is something I've had a hard time coming to a conclusion on. I mean, I've been doing this for the better part of 2 years, just trying to figure out when will this game come out. Last year I was saying, oh, it's 2021 for sure. Now I'm saying, oh, it's 2022 for sure. How am I to know they won't delay it again? Being honest though, I don't think this game is going to get a delay out of 2022. I feel like the latest we will see it is holiday next year. And even then, I'm still kind of skeptical on late next year because timeline-wise, this game has been in development for at least 3.5 years now. If we assume they started development at the beginning of 2018, it's been about 3.5 years since then. And if we look back to the original game, which took 5 years and was building the entirety from scratch, yeah, it starts to seem like, hey, where is this game? Now, granted, we don't know how much the pandemic affected this game, but it's been cooking for a while. I feel like even with that, this game has to be close to completion, right? So here's my prediction. If this game is holiday 2022, we will get an appearance at the Game Awards. And if this game is early 2022, we will get an appearance in a September Direct, and then later at the Game Awards as well. Again, I say this all the time, it's never good to rush a game. First of all, because there are people that make these games, and they have lives too. You cannot make people crunch and work egregious hours on games. It's just not good in the long run for anybody. Like, the game's gonna be worse, the people are gonna be worse off for it. Don't do that. And second of all, the longer you take to build this game up, the more I expect from it. The more you've had time to make something amazing, and it just makes the excitement grow more and more. There is a danger to that in that all this time could have been spent on just making things work and everything, and in the end, this game is not as ambitious as we would have thought from the amount of time it took to make. But you know, that's where we're at right now, and I say the more they spend time making this game, the more I'm just gonna raise my expectations, I guess, and hopefully I'm not let down. So that's the 2022 slated stuff I think we could see again this year. Actually, I haven't even mentioned Splatoon 3, which I think could very well have a story trailer if we do have a Direct later this year. I feel like it was kind of weird we didn't see that at E3. I mean, it makes sense, I guess. They're taking their time, working away on it, but I feel like if we have another Direct this year, yeah, it could pop up there. But what about all the stuff we don't yet know about for 2022? What about the stuff that they won't reveal until early next year or late next year or at some point next year? What is the schedule going to be? And here's the strange thing. I think that a lot of the stuff I expect Nintendo to maybe pull back out for next year is the stuff that I predicted for this year that didn't fully come true. First in line of that is, where is the Mario Kart team? What is the Mario Kart team working on? Yabuki, he was the director on Mario Kart 8 and then transitioned to the producer for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and ARMS in 2017. But since then, he hasn't really been doing a lot. I mean, he was on Mario Kart Tour for a little bit. He worked some on that, but I mean, that's a mobile game. How much time could that really take up? And of course, we had Mario Kart Home Circuit, but that was developed mostly by a separate team. He was more supervising on that. So, what's the deal, guys? Where's the next Mario Kart? Maybe I'm just, like, forcing this into existence because I've really been wanting to play some new Mario Kart lately. I'm like, it's been so long, I want a new Mario Kart, and I'm trying to force it into existence. But, you know, I really think there is a chance that sometime soon, maybe even next year, there could be a new Mario Kart project. And let's continue going down this list. Kirby is another one that I mentioned in my predictions video before E3, how they've been talking about there's going to be a revolution for Kirby, brand new things, big awesome things happening to the Kirby franchise. And I said, I don't think it's going to be this year. It wasn't this year. I thought there might be a spin-off, but that didn't seem to happen either. So I think next year might be when we finally see the big new Kirby game. A Fire Emblem remake. I was touting the idea of a Genealogy of the Holy War remake, and wow, that definitely didn't happen at E3, and I'm sad about it. I think there is still a small chance that it could happen next year. This is probably the one I've lost the most faith on because I thought it would be like a side team working on this while another team works on a sequel to Three Houses, but now I also know that Intelligent Systems is working on WarioWare, so I don't know. But I'm still just the Echo's name. Why use the Echo's name for Valentia if you're never gonna do another one? I feel like it has to happen at some point, you know? And then Monolith Soft, one of my personal favorite development studios that make amazing games. Xenoblade is so good. Go play it. What are they up to? I mentioned this briefly in the predictions video, how I think they're working on something. I didn't think it was going to be this year, and I thought it would be next year. I kind of still think it might be next year, because we're reaching about 4 years since 2 came out, and I know there was the Torna DLC in between that, which kind of took up some of the time, but let me remind you that Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was developed in 4 years. Xenoblade Chronicles X was developed in 4 years, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was developed in 3 years. All I'm saying is we're getting pretty close, even factoring in Torna, to a 3-year gap since 2's release. Again, maybe I'm trying to will this into existence. I think that's really what I've been trying to do with this entire video, but you know, it just feels like it's time. It feels like it's time for Nintendo to show their cards again, throw out a bunch of new stuff next year, and just have a fantastic year again. 2020 was weak. 2021 seems to be pretty meh in my book, and I think that means that 2022 could be something special. Now let's talk about one last thing that graced my Nintendo E3 predictions list, and actually did somewhat kind of maybe get announced afterwards, which is the Nintendo Switch Pro. Now, we recently had the announcement of the Nintendo Switch OLED, which is a new Nintendo Switch system that actually doesn't have any internal upgrades. Like, it is not going to run any better than the original system. Our biggest changes here are the new OLED screen, which is a bigger screen that is also nicer in quality, and enhanced audio. The kickstand. The kickstand is cool though. I cannot play that down. The kickstand is very nice. But the lack of processing power in this system upgrade has left a lot of people pretty lukewarm. And though I don't really want to stir this up again, I'm a little sick of hearing Switch Pro rumors, and for a second there I thought this might actually put them to rest, you know? We got the Switch Pro, here it is. But then I found out, oh no, there's actually no new processing power in this thing. And there's actually some evidence that this might not be the Switch Pro model, and that this is actually a lead up to that, and that this will actually replace the original Switch. So I want to bring up 3 main things that I've seen coming out that kind of point to this idea for me. And the first one comes from our favorite Mario 35th anniversary leaker, Jeff Grubb. He had an interesting comment, which was, I still have only ever personally heard 2022 for a Switch Pro, and if that still happens, I'll continue to speculate that that will have 4K output with a significantly more efficient chip and DLSS. And yeah, it seems that some of the industry insiders that originally gave us the idea, hey, there might be a 4K Switch on the way, are sticking by their word there, and they say that that might still be a thing in 2022, and I want to believe them. Like, they've been right so much lately that it's hard to not just latch onto that and say, okay, well, just gotta wait another year. I mean, nothing's ever set in stone, but there you go. Now, I read this, but then I saw 2 other interesting things that I want to mention here that might also point to this, maybe? Apparently, Nintendo is releasing a new Switch OLED dev kit that contains more memory than the base model, which makes me think, is this actually the Switch Pro? Are they sending out the dev kits for the Switch Pro, and the Switch Pro is going to be basically the OLED Switch, but added onto with 4K capabilities and better chip and all that? Because that makes a lot of sense, actually. Nintendo could launch the new OLED Switch this year, and then over time next year they could phase out the original Switch to be the OLED Switch now, and then they could add on to that with, hey, here's the new 4K powered Switch where you pay like $400, $450 for it, and you get the better graphics too, and that's going to be your Switch Pro. The Switch OLED becomes the regular Switch, and then you still have the Switch Lite. Maybe that's what's happening. Final thing I wanted to bring up here probably means nothing, but I'm reading into it too much, and I'm gonna mention it here anyway. Now, JC, who is a Nintendo Treehouse employee, we've seen him on Treehouse Live before. He seems like a pretty nice guy, you know? He made a comment on someone's question about, does the Switch OLED run any better? And he said this: nope, not what it's for. Stick with the current one if you're not digging the new screen. Why would you say that? I don't know, maybe I'm thinking about this way too much, but why would you, someone that works for this company, actively tell people, hey, if you're not feeling this product, don't buy it? You work for this company and you're telling people not to buy the product that this company puts out. I don't get it. Is he trying to hint at maybe you should save your money because you can buy a more expensive product next year? I don't know. I'm reading too much into this. I know I am, but I thought that was weird wording by JC. So I wanted to bring it up here. That's it. That's all that there is to it. Just me analyzing it way too much. Love JC, love seeing him on Treehouse, but I just thought it was kind of weird the way he worded that, and that it might be hinting to something else. Probably isn't though, it usually isn't in these cases. I just wanted to bring it up. And yeah, I think that about does it. Will there be a Switch Pro next year? I don't know. I feel like there's a decent chance that there will, but you know, it's all just wait and see at this point. It would be kind of dumb for Nintendo to not do it though, because it's it's just a good idea. Games are starting to struggle to run on the Switch, and I've said this before, blah, 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 but you know, a Switch Pro is just a good idea for them. And I think that there's still a chance it could happen next year. Final 2 games I wanted to mention about this video going over Nintendo in 2022 is Metroid Prime 4 and Bayonetta 3. The 2 that we've had on the horizon for quite some time now. Here's my read on it. I think Bayonetta 3 is a maybe next year. It's a hard maybe. Prime, on the other hand, I don't think it will release next year, but I think it will start to get trailers and seem like a real thing at that point. So that's my read on those 2. But yeah, I just really wanted to take some time here to talk about Nintendo's 2022 because it really excites the heck out of me. And we're still 6 months out from even starting the year, and I just, oh my gosh. Splatoon, Breath of the Wild 2, that right there already makes the year for me. Just add everything else on, it sprinkles on top of the cake. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did and like this format of just talking about Nintendo and everything, you can go check out the video I did on 2021, where we talked a little bit about all the games that are coming out in 2021 and that have already come out, and just talking about the year some. It's kind of like, you know, I tied the videos together. 2021, 2022. Wow, that was so smart of me. I'm really excited for the future, and I just hope Nintendo can, for once, maybe keep up with my expectations. I know it won't happen, but it's still fun to talk about. You know, it's just fun to speculate about. That's one of my favorite things about just video games, speculating about them. What could be. And, you know, what could be next year is looking pretty nice. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy the video, I ask that you please subscribe to the channel to see when I put out new videos and to just help me out. It's just, you click a button, but it helps me out so much. You can also like the video. That helps YouTube share it around because it likes in the algorithm when you say, hey, I like the video, and it's like, oh, they like the video. I should probably share this one around, you know, that it has a voice kind of like that. It's kind of weird. Anyway, beyond that, let me know in the comments down below what you think we will see next year, what you are most excited to maybe see next year, and what is your wild, out there, crazy prediction for next year that is definitely going to be true. As always, guys, you can find me on Twitter at XenogamerYT, join the Discord server with the link in the description below, and come on by my Twitch channel every Friday for new streams. That's it for me today, guys. I gotta get out of here before the thunderstorm starts and power goes out and I lose the entire video recording. And have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.